Alright, we are live. Good evening po sa inyong lahat mga kaguro. Maayong aga, maayong buntag. Buenos dias from South Carolina, USA. We are back for part 3 of our final coaching for professional education. Go ahead. I hope nakakain na po kayo, no? And sana meron kayong snack dyan sa gilid nyo or tubig. Okay, if you need some notes, then you may take your notebook with you, your pen and paper with you. But of course, all these materials are going to be posted after this live stream. And of course, yung ating video ay hindi naman po mawawala. Okay, so po pwede nyo pong balik-balikan. To all the first-timers, sa mga first-timer, no, yung mga first-time lamang naka-join sa atin and hindi pa alam na marami pa tayong videos na nandyan po sa YouTube. So balikan nyo po sa YouTube lahat po ng ating videos. There's a live stream playlist with over 100 videos. Meron po tayong playlist for Prof Ed. There's a playlist for Gen Ed. There's even a separate playlist for Let Science, okay? So again, this is final coaching part 3 for Prof Ed. Tomorrow we are going to have Prof Ed part 4. Then by next Saturday, we will have general science with me. Then I will try to check what else is on our schedule. Okay, so abangan nyo po. Saturday, Sunday, we are still going to have our live stream discussion. Again, this is all exclusive to all the members of Gurong Pinoy team. So again, this is not found in your on our YouTube channel. Is also not found on our Facebook page. Okay? Pero dito lamang po yan sa Team Erickson and Team Gardner. Hello! Lumabas na yung mga Team Gardner. Mag-comment na po kayo. Ito yung ating mga Team Thunders. Ayun, nakikita ko na sila. Sir Nino, si Kapitan Emerson, si Ma'am Tin, si Ma'am Loyalin. Lahat ng mga medyo luma, no? Forgive me for the term, no? Yung medyo luma. And nandyan po sa ating Team Gardner, yung Team Thunders. And of course, meron din tayong mga team newbies. Yung mga bagito natin, new members are all added sa ating Team Erickson. Hello po, hello. We are live na, Sir Nino Vincent, sabi ni Cap Emerson. Good evening. Yes po, Ma'am JP, Sir JP Malapo. Meron po tayong pre-board. Inaayos ko pa po. Wala pa po akong nagagawa. Pero we will have our pre-board, of course. Ayun, Jeffrey Mora. Sir Jeffrey, Jutunder, peace tayo. Okay, mga bago, hello, Ma'am Wendy Lalangan. Sa mga bago natin, hello po. Yon, Luma. Team Luma at Team Bago tayo, okay? Team Gardner and of course, Team Erickson. All right? Now, I hope you have already answered our quiz, no? Expired na yung quiz natin. Again, in the morning, I post your quizzes. So, po pwede niyong answeran yan. You can only answer it once. And of course, in the evening at 7 p.m., we start our live discussion. Okay? Nababasa ba comment ko? Yes po, Sir Roldan Tero. Hello po, nababasa ko po yung comment nyo. Alright, we start. If you are ready, we start with question number 1. Paki-leave po ng inyong answer sa ating comment box para po masaya, para po interactive, and para, of course, mas maalala nyo yung ating mga items. Alright, we start with question number 1. Which of the following is not a purpose of assessment? Is it letter A, mechanism for review? Letter B, motivator? Letter C, to create stress and anxiety? Or letter D, feedback? Sir or Ma'am JR, Sir JR Lacsinto, nandyan pa rin po sa team nyo, sir. Hindi po siya na-erase. Lakas maka-evolution of the man, sabi ni Sir JP, yung Team Luma at Team Bago. Alright, number 1, what's your answer? Team Gardner, Team Erickson? Sir Roldan Tero, yes po pwede nyo pong i-download yung video, pwede niyo pong balikan. And of course, the presentation I'm also going to upload after our discussion. My question, anong oras yung majorship? Sir, yung majorship niyo po, sir or ma'am, ay recorded video. So, nandun po sa inyong Google Classroom. Balikan niyo po yung inyong Google Classroom na may mga nakapost na po sa ating majors, yung bio, English, math, social science, your Filipino, and MAPE. Meron na pong mga nakapost na materials. Okay ba? Sure na sure. Sure si Sir Roldan Tero na letter C ang sagot. Okay, for number 1 again, we are looking for not a purpose. Okay? Sir Adolfo Pimentel Mari, Mamek, pwede po ba ma-download? Yes po, pwede niyo pong i-download yung video. Okay? So, which of the following is not a purpose of assessment? Yung hindi purpose ng assessment. Okay? Is it mechanism for review, motivator, to create stress and anxiety, or feedback? Okay? The correct choice, of course, would be letter C, to create stress and anxiety. Buena mano. Tama-tama. Ma'am Gigi Kalugas. Ma'am, good eve. Paano magpa-enroll sa new team? Yung team Piaget? Kasi third batch pa ako. Yes, meron na yatang Iloilo na ilabas na po yung Iloilo. Mag-send po kayo ng message later sa ating page. Ma'am Mex, saan po makita yung link para maka-join sa Google Classroom? Ma'am Ana Victoria, if you have joined our Pro membership or Premium po, you should have received the information through your email. Yung invitation to your Google Classroom po ay nasa email nyo kung Premium or Pro member po kayo. Okay, so that means you have your majorship din na membership. Okay, number 2, informal assessment should be used when, letter A, the teacher wants to determine if students have met course objectives. Letter B, the teacher wants to make observations of students' social interactions with other children. Letter C, the teacher has provided advanced notice to the students to study. Or letter D, the students should demonstrate their performance in a given area. When do we as teachers give informal assessments? Okay, so when do you use informal assessments? Informal. That means it is not the type of assessment that we grade. It is not the type of assessment that we use standards with. Okay, so when do we use such types of assessment? Okay, is it when we want to determine if they have met the course objectives? If we want to observe how they interact with the other kids? Is it when we want to provide or give them advance notice for them to study? Or is it when we ask the students to show us how they perform? Okay, letter B. Karamihang sagot ninyo ay letter B. May iilang ibang sagot. Okay, again, going back to informal assessments. Again, when you say informal assessments as opposed to formal assessments, these are forms of assessments that are not recorded, no? Usually, hindi siya nire-record. And wala tayong criteria, no? Wala tayong categories, wala tayong set objectives, okay? So this is when you would do your informal assessment. And of course, the correct choice here is letter B. The teacher wants to make observations of the interactions of the students with the other kids. Okay, so this one, to determine whether they have met the course objectives, this would be formal assessment. Advance notice for the students to study. This is also formal assessment. Of course, this is performance task, no? So this is authentic assessment ito, no? Authentic assessment, which is also a part of your formal assessment. And so the correct choice would be letter B. Letter B po. We go to number 3. Which of the following is an example of a performance-based assessment? Letter A, use of a Scantron answer sheet in chemistry class. Letter B, written book report in English class. Letter C, oral presentation in history class. Or letter D, a true-false exam in history class. Okay, which one do you think is the best choice for number 3? Number 3, ano kaya ang best choice? What's the answer for number 3? Okay, C. I see a lot of letter C's for number 3. Okay, letter C. I see a lot of letter C's for number 3. Okay, now going back to the question that you have here, we are looking for the example of a performance-based assessment. So again, when you say performance-based assessments, these are assessments that are using performance. Okay, so from the term itself, performance-based siya. Ito yung klase ng assessment na hindi ginagamitan ng pen and paper. Okay, so walang pen and paper, or walang pen and pencil? Okay, so is it letter A, use of Scantron answer sheet? May answer sheet ka. Yung Scantron, this is a type of machine that would read the answers using an answer sheet, no? So maliliit yung Scantron answer sheet, tapos pinapasok mo sa machine, siya yung nag-check kung ilang yung tamang sagot. Letter B, written book report in English class. Okay, so book report, you of course have your paper and your pen. Letter D also has a paper and a pen. Hence, the correct choice would be oral presentation in history class. There is no use of the paper and the pen. It is mainly based on the performance of the student. Okay, so letter C is the correct choice for number 3. Letter C po ang ating tamang choice for number 3. Oral presentation, not paper and pen. Okay, so hindi po siya paper and pen. It is based on one's performance. We move on with number 4. Which of the following situations is most appropriate for a performance-based assessment? Is it letter A, a science teacher wants to assess his students' ability to identify chemicals by identifying their position on the periodic table and writing a paper describing the findings? Letter B, a math teacher wants to assess her students' ability to multiply equations on a quiz. Letter C, an art teacher wants to assess her students' ability to differentiate between still life and portraits by creating a charcoal drawing of each. Letter D, a music teacher wants to assess his students' knowledge of treble and bass clef using a written test. Okay, which one is performance-based? Parang parehas pa rin siya ng number 3 pero iba yung words na ginamit. You are given a different situation. Okay, so may situation ka, no? Your teacher, if you are a teacher, which among these teachers is using performance-based assessment? Okay, which one do you think is the correct choice for number 4? Number 4, I see a lot of letter C's. So number 4. Okay, a lot of letter C's for number 4. So again, going back to performance-based assessment, no, as I've mentioned, pag sinabi niyong performance-based, hindi siya ginagamitan ng paper and pen or paper and pencil. So which one is most appropriate, no? Pag tinignan mo yung ating choices dito, saan yung hindi gumagamit ng paper and pen? Etong sabi ng letter A, using periodic table, writing a paper. Okay? It's writing a paper. Napakaklaro. Paper and pen po. No? Paper and pencil test ito. Letter B, on a quiz. Okay? So there's also the paper and pencil. Letter D, meron ding written test. So meron ka pa rin paper and pencil. Hence, the correct choice is letter C. Our teacher wants to assess her students' ability. And so, the art teacher would ask the students to make drawings. Okay? Wag naman pilosopo. May papel din naman yung drawings. Pero what I mean is, it is not the traditional way of testing, no? Na pa-quiz, pa-test, paper, or report on paper. No, hindi. This is how to show your skills, okay, using or to differentiate still life and portraits by making your drawing, okay, making your charcoal drawing. Okay, so letter C po ang ating choice dito, letter C. Letter C po ang ating choice, okay? May katanungan, bakit letter C? Okay na tayo sa number 4? Okay na po ba tayo sa number 4? Okay, so again, when you say performance-based, it is not the usual paper and pencil na test, no? Na quiz lamang po pwedeng performance talaga. Demonstration, for example, may role play sila, may oral presentation, eto may drawing, may dance, okay, may games, or whatever, okay? So iba po yung performance-based sa inyong paper and pencil na testing. We move on with number 5. An assessment used to evaluate the effectiveness of instruction at the end of a specific course is referred to as a blank assessment. Is it letter A, formative, letter B, summative, letter C, scholastic aptitude, or letter D, general aptitude? Okay, which one is the best choice for number 5? Number 5, what do you think is the correct choice? For number 5, please put your answer in our chat box. Ano kaya yung tamang choice for number 5? Okay, number 5 na po tayo. I see A's, B's, A and B. Nag-aagawan, maraming A at B. Okay. Again, whenever you are answering your letter, whenever you are looking at the questions, reading the questions, you have to do it very carefully and you have to analyze the questions. Okay? Sabi dito, an assessment used to evaluate the effectiveness of an instruction at the end, okay, at the end of a specific course is referred to as, what type of assessment is given at the end? Okay, at the end of a specific course. Hence, the correct choice would be letter B. This is summative. Formative, remember, is during instruction. Okay, during instruction yung formative nyo. We have just reposted our video sa Gurong Pinoy na Facebook page. Nirepost po yung video on assessment as, assessment for, and assessment of learning. Okay, so balikan nyo po yan lahat, no? Balikan nyo anong difference ng assessment as learning, assessment for learning, assessment of learning. Okay, nandun po yan lahat. Meron din po yan sa ating YouTube channel. Okay, so again, if it is given at the end of a specific course, this one is a summative form of testing. Okay, so summative assessment po siya. Formative is during instruction. Okay, during instruction. And of course, yung inyong diagnostic is given prior to your instruction. Okay, it measures strengths and weaknesses. All right, so summative is a correct choice here. When you say aptitude naman, when you say aptitude test, it measures how someone is going to be successful in a certain field or in a certain course. So general aptitude, lahat ng subjects, no, general subjects. So scholastic aptitude, whatever is the course, okay? So specific na siya sa certain course. Say, meron kang aptitude test for nurses, meron kang aptitude test for teachers. Now, I'm not sure if you have taken your TAT when you were applying sa inyong college, no? After ng inyong entrance exam, meron ka ding TAT, yung Teacher's Aptitude Test, or meron ka ding NAT, yung Nursing Aptitude Test. Okay, so parte na siya ng scholastic aptitude. All right, we move on. Number 6. Mrs. Gregg uses an assessment to evaluate children's knowledge and abilities formed in preschool and in the home. She is using a blank assessment. Is it letter A, specific aptitude? Letter B, scholastic aptitude? Letter C, school readiness? Or letter D, formative? Okay, which one do you think is the correct choice here for number 6? Number 6. Number 6 na po tayo. Ayun, sabi ni Ma'am Rachel Ann Quinto, Payumo, Alame, and pala. Okay, so basahing maigi, basahing mabuti ang question. Sometimes you know the answer, but you did not read the questions very well or very carefully, hence mali yung inyong choice. Okay. Letter C. I see a lot of letter C. So Mrs. Gregg here is giving an assessment to check the children's knowledge and abilities formed in preschool and in the home. The correct choice, of course, would be school readiness. Okay? So maaaring si Mrs. Gregg ay isang grade 1 teacher, no? So ni-check niya yung preschool skills, or po pwede din naman kindergarten teacher siya, and those skills that were formed in the home. Okay? So school readiness po ang ating nahanap dito. Okay, school readiness. May question dyan. Ma'am, may review din po ba tayo ng research? Abangan niyo po bukas yung final coaching niyo for Prof and tomorrow. Marami po siyang research questions. Okay, so binato ko po lahat ng research questions doon sa review niyo tomorrow. So please do not be absent. And of course, check niyo po yung ating quizzes link in the morning. Okay, so letter C po ang ating tamang choice dito. You all know what formative is. Specific aptitude and scholastic aptitude are the same. Okay, so specified for a certain course or certain subject. Okay, so letter C, school readiness is the correct choice for number 6. We move on. Number 7, an assessment that uses the same or similar questions and is evaluated using the same criteria for all test takers is referred to as a blank assessment. Letter A, standardized. Letter B, summative. Letter C, proctored. Or letter D, formative. Which one do you think is the correct choice for number 7? Uses the same or similar questions evaluated using the same criteria for all test takers. This is referred to as standardized assessment, summative assessment, proctored assessment, or formative assessment. Okay, number 7. What's your choice? Number 7, I see A's. Number 7, I see a lot of people saying that the answer is A. Okay, tingnan natin yung iba pang choice nyo, iba pang sagot. A, tad tayo ng A. Okay, so sabi dito, it uses the same or similar questions evaluated using the same criteria for all test takers. The correct choice is standardized. Tama yung standardized. No, standardized test mo, examples for this would be your NOT, RAT, DOT, no, yung mga achievement tests, those that are given nationwide. And usually these are types of tests that were formulated, that were formed by our experts, no? So yung mga experts, those that are coming from DepEd, no? Yung mga doctors, yung mga PhD na, at sila yung inatasang gumawa ng test, no? So standardized test is the correct choice. You all know what summative test is, formative test is, proctored test. This is just a term that we use for testing kung saan merong proctor, no? Merong nagbabantay. So, standardized dito yung ating choice. Letter A. Tama yung letter A. Number 8, a student complains that only 10 questions on a 100-question test were taken from the material assigned to study for the test. The student is questioning the tests. Letter A, standardization. Letter B, reliability. Letter C, validity. Or letter D, usability. Okay, which one do you think is the correct choice? For number 8. Ano kaya yung tamang choice for number 8? Number 8. Number 8, what's your choice for number 8? Okay, letter C. Letter C, karamihang choice. Okay, and of course, letter C here is the answer. Okay, so when you are saying that the test really measures what it intends to measure, kung ano yung naituro ng teacher at ganun po talaga yung lumabas sa test, no, then you can say that the test is valid. Okay, that's validity. Again, validity, we are going to discuss this in a little while. Ganon din yung reliability, no? So I will not go over them in detail right now because meron pa tayong ibang slides later. Usability, maganda bang gamitin yung test na to, no? Pwede bang gamitin yung test na to? Hindi ba siya mahirap gamitin? Hindi ba maraming materials na kailangan gamitin or kailangan hanapin for you to administer this type of test? Standardization, of course, you all know the meaning of this. We've just talked about this. When you say standardized test, halos parehas yung mga items niya, and of course, parehas yung pang-i-evaluate sa results ng inyong mga test takers. So number 8, validity is the correct choice. Correct choice dito, validity. We move on with number 9. A school principal wants to know the cost and length of time needed to administer an exam. This refers to the blank of the exam. Is it letter A, validity, letter B, practicality, letter C, standardization, or letter D, reliability? The cost and length of time needed to administer an exam. This refers to the blank of the exam. Ayun, tama yan, Sir Aladdin Calot, no? Ito yung teacher na may ready-made questionnaire 5 years ago, no? Diba? Na-experience ko yan when I was practice teaching, no? Tapos kakaroon sila ng first quarter test, first grading test. Sabi lang ni teacher, ay, Day, pwede mo bang i-type mag-type ng test, no? Gawin mong 100 items. Tapos sabi ko, so saan ko po kukunin yung items? Sabi niya, ay, andyan, kuha ka ng mga test, yung mga exam paper sa aparador, pumili ka lang ng mga items, no? Siguro 10 items per test papers. Okay, so nung pag nakita ng mga bata yung questions at hindi na-discuss ng teachers, of course nga yung bata. Okay, so hindi siya valid. That's validity. Okay, number 9, ano kaya yung choice? Ano kaya yung sagot for number 9? Okay, school principal wants to know the cost and length of time needed to administer an exam. This refers to the blank of the exam. Correct choice, of course, is practicality. Practical ba ang pagbibigay ng test na to? Hindi ba siya costly? Hindi ba mahal? Hindi ba masyadong mahaba ang kailangang time para i-administer mo yung test na to? Halos magkapareho sila ng administrability, no? So, kunwari yung yung let ay medyo mahirap siyang klase ng test na i-administer, no? Because it is nationwide, you need proctors, so may cost. You need exam papers, no? Meron ding cost. And of course, kailangan, especially ngayon sa pandemic, kailangan ma-disinfect muna yung lugar. So, kailangan din na i-divide muna lahat ng test takers, no? Into groups of divided by 3 or divided by 4, depende sa kung gaano karami yung test takers in that certain area. Okay, so practicality, dapat hindi siya costly at dapat mabilis at madali lamang siyang i-administer. Validity, we've talked about that. Standardization, tapos na to. And reliability, okay? We go to number 10. A parent is confused by her child's score on 2 exams testing knowledge of musical terminology. On the first test, the child scored a 90. On the second test, the score was 30. What aspect of the test is the parent questioning? Is it letter A, usability, letter B, validity, letter C, standardization, or letter D, reliability? Okay, which one is the correct choice for number 10? Okay, aba si Ma'am Pearl Joy, may kainan. Pwede na bang party-party? Okay, galing pa daw sa kainan si ma'am. Or baka sa bahay lang nila, no? Kakakain lamang ni ma'am. Okay, number 10, what's your answer? Okay, letter D. Letter D. Karamihang choice nyo ay letter D. Okay, going back to number 10, a parent is confused by her child's score on 2 exams testing knowledge of musical terminology. Okay, so mape ito. On the first test, the child's score was a 90. Okay, so 90 yung score niya. On the second test, the score was 30. What aspect of the test is the parent questioning? Correct choice, of course, would be reliability. Okay, so this is reliability. Let's take a look at our slide. Ay, wala pa pala. Okay, so next slide pa. I am not going to be talking about it in details yet dahil meron pa tayong next slide. So again, usability, we have just talked about this. Sabi ng usability mo, dapat madali lamang siyang ibigay, madali lamang siyang i-administer na useful ba itong test na to. Validity, does it measure what it intends to measure? Okay, standardization, standardized pa yung test, galing pa siya sa items ng mga experts, pare-parehas lamang ba yung pag-grade, no, pag-rate sa inyong mga test takers, even if it's nationwide. Okay, of course, reliability is the consistency of scores, no, consistency of scores to. So, dapat nung nakatake siya ng unang test at nakuha niyang grado ay 90, dapat more or less parehas din yung kanyang grado. Pero kina-question ng nanay, bakit 30 na lang sa second test, no? That means the test was not reliable, okay? So we will have more items on that in the next slides. We move on with number 11. A blank is an attribute such as self-esteem, motivation, and language proficiency that is inferred from consistent behavior. Is it letter A, construct, letter B, personality, letter C, soft skill, or letter D, pattern? Ayon, family dinner pala, sabi ni Ma'am Pearl Joy. Kala ko kainan eh. Kala ko yung malaking kainan na party. Okay, which one do you think is the correct choice for 11? 11? Uh-huh. Ayon. Ayon, 11, ang daming letter B. Mm-hmm. Okay. Letter B, letter C, letter B. Okay, well, checking your results kanina sa test, no, dito ko nakuha yung maraming mali. Okay, medyo maraming mali dito sa item na to, no? What do we call an attribute such as self-esteem, motivation, and language proficiency that is inferred from consistent behavior? Okay? Anong definition ba to? Anong tawag natin sa attribute that is inferred from consistent behavior? The correct choice here, yung answer po dito ay construct. Okay? That is the definition of your term construct. Okay, so construct po ang ating tamang choice. Maraming ligwak dito no, sa question na to. When you say an attribute, a characteristic, a trait that is inferred from consistent behavior, the term that we use is construct. Okay, construct po, hindi po personality, hindi po soft skill. Remember your soft skills? We've talked about this before sa isa sa mga live streams natin, no? Yung hard skill and soft skill. Pag sinabi mong hard skill, these are the technical skills. Okay, so problem-solving skills, how to use your computer, how to use a device, for example, how to balance chemical equations. These are hard skills. Pero pag sinabi mo namang soft skills, these are skills that you use to communicate with people, no? So to communicate with people to be successful in a workplace. For example, example ng yung soft skill is working with other people, arriving on time, time management, okay? So these are soft skills. Soft skills mo ito. Pattern, this is not the choice that we're looking for. Ito po kasi ay definition ng term na construct. Okay? So construct siya. An attribute that is inferred from consistent behavior. Ayon, ligwakers. Okay? Ligwakers, sabi ni Ma'am Tin Acabo. Letter A po ang ating sagot dito. We move on. Number 12, which of the following validity coefficients would indicate a highly predictive assessment? Letter A, negative 0.21. Letter B, 0.21. Letter C, 0.80. Or letter D, negative 0.80. Ano kaya yung tamang choice for number 12? Number 12, which one do you think is the correct choice? Okay, I see C's for number 12. Letter C. Letter C. Okay, letter C for number 12. All right, going back to the question, which of the following validity coefficients would indicate a highly predictive assessment? Highly predictive. Correct choice here is letter C, 0.80. That is the correct choice, hindi negative, no? So ligwak na itong A and D, hindi ito yung ating tamang choice. Now, before or between B and C, mas mataas naman yung letter C. Okay, so letter C yung choice natin dito. Let's take a look at our slide. Now, again, as we've mentioned, when you say validity, this is the extent to which an assessment accurately measures what it is intended to measure. No? It measures what it intends to measure. That is validity. Now, you have different types of validity. Unang-una, content validity. The extent to which an assessment represents all facets of tasks within the domain being assessed. So, dapat kung nagbigay ka ng test, for example, at yung test mo ay merong 15 na objectives na hinihit yung test mo, dapat lahat ng objectives mo ay nirepresent sa inyong test. Hindi po pwedeng yung last 5 objectives lamang yung nandyan sa test. Or kunwari nagbigay ka ng final test, sabi mo, sabi ng teacher mo, yung final test nyo ay from cover to cover. Okay? So when you say from cover to cover, dapat lahat ng units doon, lahat ng units, lahat ng chapters ay nabigyan ng items. Hindi po pwede na nasa last chapters lang, yung halos lahat ng items ay galing lamang sa last chapters. Or usually ginagawa ng teacher natin na sinasabi from cover to cover, pero concentrate on the last few chapters. No? So that's content validity. Dapat ni-represent niya all facets of the task, lahat ng objectives na meron kang dapat i-cover. Okay? So that's content validity. Tandaan po yan. Now, this one right here is predictive validity. Predictive validity, the extent to which a score on assessment predicts future performance. So usually, ginagamit ito for your yung mga entrance test mo, no, yung predictive validity. Kung mataas yung nakuha sa entrance test, maaring maging successful din siya, maaring yung first doon sa results ng entrance test magiging top student din siya. That's predictive validity. A score on an assessment predicts future performance. Now, sa construct validity mo naman, so again, you have content validity, predictive validity, and construct validity. So again, this right here is the definition of construct. Ito yung kaninang hinanap natin na maraming naligwak, no? Internal trait that cannot be directly observed but must be inferred from consistent behavior observed in people. So when you say construct validity, this is the extent to which an assessment accurately measures the construct, your unobservable educational or psychological trait. Okay? So, paano niya mineasure yung isang trait na hindi naman nakikita, no? So, that's your construct validity. The extent to which an assessment accurately measures the construct, unobservable educational or psychological trait. So, again, you have three different types of validity. Content validity, lahat dapat ng objectives nandun na na-represent. You have your predictive validity, kung naging successful ba siya in a previous assessment, po pwede ba niyang ma-predict yung magiging success ng bata in at the end of the course, for example, or at the end of the grade? Or is it construct validity? Is it able to really measure? Is it really able to evaluate the construct? Okay, so again, when you say construct, something that is not observable, okay, so your psychological trait is something in the mind. Okay, so that's construct validity. Now, whenever you are talking about measurement of validity, parehas lang din sila ng reliability, no? So you have 0 and 1, 1 being the highest. And usually, 0.60 and above would be highly valid. So kanina, sa example natin, 0.80 yung ating choice because of course, 0.80 is higher than 0.60. Okay? So kaya letter C ang ating choice dito for number 12. Okay? Number 12, letter C po ang ating sagot. We move on. Number 13. A school wants to determine if an assessment has reliability over time. They administer the same assessment at the beginning of a school year and at the end. The school is assessing blank reliability. What type of reliability is this? Okay, anong type ng reliability meron tayo dito? Okay, I see number 13 na po tayo, A. I see a lot of A's for number 13. Okay, so you also have, if you have different types of validity, your content, predictive, and construct validity, meron ka din namang different types of reliability, and we are going to be talking about that in just a few minutes. Okay, so A, karamihang sagot nyo is letter A, and that is correct. Okay, so this is test, retest. Bakit? Dahil sabi dito, they administer the same assessment. Parehas lamang yung test at the beginning of the school year and at the end. So this means it's just test, retest. Okay, so test, retest lamang to. The school is assessing what type of reliability. Again, this is test, retest. Let's take a look at your reliability. Okay, so as opposed to validity, reliability is the extent to which an assessment yields consistent information about the knowledge, skills, or abilities being assessed. So again, when you say reliability, consistency of scores. Dapat parehas yung score niya. Naalala nyo kanina yung ating question. The mom was questioning reliability because the first test, yung nakuha ng child niya was 90, the second test 30 na lamang. Okay, so dapat reliable yung test. Pag sinabi mong reliable yung test, dapat consistent yung score. Parehas dapat yung score, no? So the extent to which an assessment yields consistent information, that's reliability. Now, we have different types of reliability. The first one is inter-rater reliability. Ibig sabihin ng inter-rater reliability, if you have different people who are trying to rate you, if you have several people who are trying to grade you, dapat pare-parehas yung score na binibigay nila sa'yo, no? That's inter-rater reliability. Kahit na magkakaibang judges, for example, pare-parehas dapat yung score. Kung naka-10 ka sa isa, dapat 10 ka din sa iba, no? Pwera na lamang kung ang isa sa kanila, for example, ito si ma'am, ay may manok, no? So kahit na maganda yung inyong ginawa, maganda yung iyong performance, 10 out of 10 dapat, ginawa ka ni ma'am na 1 lamang. Okay? So 1 lamang yung ginawa ni ma'am. Hindi siya inter-rater reliable, no? Dahil may bias si ma'am. Meron siyang sarili niyang pambato. Number 1 ka. For example, and these two other judges have given you 10 out of 10. Si ma'am 1 lamang kasi yung number 3 ay pambato niya, no? So kailangan niyang i-pull down yung ibang scores ng ibang contestants because she wants the pambato to win. Okay? So, pero pag sinabi mong inter-rater reliability, kahit iba-ibang judges, dapat pareho yung rate. Wag naman gulpihin daw si ma'am. Okay? Pareho yung rating nila. That's inter-rater reliability. Now, the second type of reliability is test-retest. Ito yung sinabi natin kanina, no? Ito yung nasa question natin, test-retest reliability. And so, if you are giving a science exam, for example, binigay mo siya ngayon, 80 yung nakuha ng bata. When you give it again next week, dapat 80 pa rin yung makuha ng bata. That's test, retest. Very important for you to note na in a test, retest reliability, the same test lamang. Eksaktong parehas. Okay? So, parehas na parehas yung test. Okay, so parehas dapat, may hugot si Ma'am Payumo, Rachel, and demo teaching ba to? Luto, okay? Yung test, retest ay parehas lamang po yung test na ginamit. So, gaya kanina ng ating question, no? So, nagbigay sila at the end of instruction and after the instruction ay nagbigay sila the same type of test. The same test mismo. The same yung items, the same yung ayos, the same yung choices. That's test, retest, reliability, okay? That's the second type of reliability. Parallel forms of reliability, halos magkaparehas. Parehas yung objective pero hindi parehas yung items, for example, or hindi parehas yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng items. That's your parallel form. Parallel form lamang siya, not exactly the same as your test-retest, pero parehas yung objective. Okay? So parehas yung goal ng inyong dalawang forms of test. Okay? So Science Exam 1 and Science Exam 2, parehas yung objectives pero hindi parehas eksakto yung inyong test. That's parallel forms reliability. Now, internal consistency reliability, dapat kung, for example, if you are talking about one topic at may subtopics yung topic na yan, pag tama yung sagot niya sa isang parte ng objective na yan at merong the same objective na ginamit, no, in the test, kunwari, you were talking about the scientific method, yung first item mo is about the scientific method, tama yung sagot niya, dapat sa succeeding na items that would have the same objective, tama pa rin yung sagot niya. Hindi po pwedeng mali yung sagot niya sa first item, tapos tama yung next item, mali na naman. So, okay, wala siyang reliability. Internal consistency reliability is that it's a type of reliability that is looking at the different items that you have in the test. So, kung parehas lamang yung objective nila in, say, questions 1 to 3, kung tama yung 1 niya at parehas lang yung objective sa 2 and 3, dapat tama din yung 2 and 3. Okay? So, yan yung internal consistency reliability. Okay? So, yung hinahanap natin was test-retest. Test-retest po yung ating hinahanap. Alright, number 14. Ito, alam nyo na to dapat. 3 raters compare their individual scores in order to assess blank reliability. Is it letter A, parallel form? Letter B, internal consistency? Letter C, test-retest? Or letter D, inter-rater? Okay, ano kaya yung tamang choice for number 14? Ang daming notifications. Okay, what do you think is the correct choice for number 14? Dapat memorize nyo na to. You already know the different types of validity, the different types of reliability. Okay, basahin ko lamang. Ma'am Mek, how to join the quiz? Saan siya makikita? Sir PUO ba kung saan po kayo nanonood ngayon? Diyan din po pinupost yung ating quiz, sir. Bukas po ng umaga ay meron pong quiz dyan na ipopost. So, abang-abang po kayo. Pag meron pong notification, buksan niyo po kaagad. Okay, letter D, letter D. A lot of letter Ds. Of course, the correct choice here would be letter D, inter-rater. We have just talked about this a while ago, no? Low road transfer is real. Tama, sabi ni Ma'am Rowena Miode. Okay, so 3 raters compare their individual scores in order to assess blank reliability. Correct answer is inter-rater reliability. We move on to number 15. Mr. Hunt has been emphasizing the use of performance-based assessments in his science class. What type of performance assessment is he most likely to use to grade his students on their knowledge of the principles of gravity? Is it letter A, experiment, which involves dropping different objects to assess the rate of descent? Letter B, asking the students to state the principles of gravity. Letter C, true or false questions about the principles of gravity. Letter D, multiple choice test about the principles of gravity. Okay. Sir Adolfo Pimentel Mari, wala po sa ating YouTube. Nandito lamang po sa ating team ang ating final coaching. Okay, exclusive po siya sa inyo, sir. So wala po siya sa YouTube. Wala din po siya sa Facebook, sa ating Facebook page. Pero nandito po sa inyong Facebook group, sa Team Erickson and Team Gardner. Okay, so mada-download nyo po dito, sir. Pwede nyo pong balikan dito later sa inyong team at dito nyo po siya i-download. Pwede po. Magpaturo po kayo sa inyong kaklase later, sir, kung paano po mag-download from Facebook. Okay, number 15, we've been talking about performance assessment. So again, pag sinabi mong performance assessment, there is no use of your paper and pencil. Okay, so hindi siya yung usual na test na may paper and pencil, shading, multiple choice, true, false, essay, whatever. Okay? Yes, Ma'am Kay Kabuyok, yung ina-upload po sa Facebook page natin ay naka-public, pero ito pong sa inyong final coaching ay dito lamang po sa inyong team. Okay, so hindi po siya naka-public. Letter B, asking the students to state the principles of gravity. Paper and pen pa rin siya. No po, pwede namang question and answer, pero hindi siya based on performance. Letter C, true, false questions. Letter D, multiple choice test. Hence, the correct choice is experiment. Okay? Experimentation is one form of performance-based assessment. Okay, so letter A po ang ating choice for if you'd like to join us and if you'd like to have your own copy of these materials, to download the videos and all the rest of the materials that we're using, the PowerPoint presentation, and also, of course, our explanations, please join us and become a member of Gurong Pinoy. And of course, if you will be taking the LET in January, March, June, or September of next year, we are going to open our newest team, which is Team Piaget. So please join us and, of course, send us a message through our Facebook page so that we can easily answer all the questions that you may have. Maraming salamat. This has been Coach Mek, and of course, I will be looking forward to you becoming a member of our Gurong Pinoy teams. Thank you.